The greatest mystery is about the Great Pyramid of Giza. The Giza pyramids, built to ensure an eternity, have done just that. The monumental tombs are relics of Egypt's Old Kingdom era and were constructed some 4500 years ago. Egypt's pharaohs accepted to become gods in the afterlife. To prepare for the next world, they erected temples to the god, massive pyramid tomb for themselves, filled with all things each ruler would need to guide sustain himself in the next world. Peru Khufu began the first Giza pyramid project in era 2050 BC. His pyramid is the largest in the Giza and the towers some 481 feet above the plateau. It estimated 2.3 million stones blocked each weigh an average of 2.5 to 15 tons. Khufu's son Pharaoh Khafre built the second pyramid at Giza era 2520 BC. The necropolis also include Sefin, a mysterious limestone monument with the body of lion and Pharaoh's head. The Sphinx may stand still for the Pharaoh's entire tomb complex. The third of Giza pyramid is considerably smaller than first two. 115 years ago, an archaeologist was sifting through objects found in a work of a 2000 years old vessel off the Greek island Antikythera. Among the wrecked treasures, a beautiful vases and parts, jewelry, bronze statue of an ancient philosopher was the most peculiar thing. A series of brass gears and dials mounted were found at the place. Antikythera was the first computer and the piece of Greek technology, arguably though, and the first computer at that time. At the first glance, the piece of brass were found near the wreck looked like something you might find in a junkyard or hanging on the wall. What remained of the mechanism is a set of rusted brass gears sandwiched into a rotting wood box. But if you look into a machine, you see evidence of at least 2 dozen gears laid neatly on top of one another, calibrated with the precision of master-crafted Swiss watch. This was the level of technology that archaeologists would usually date to 16th century, not well before the first. To archaeologists, it was immediately apparent that mechanism was some sort of clock, lantern, or calculating device, but they had no idea what it was. For decades, they debated was Antikythera a toy model of planets, or perhaps it was an easy early astrolabe, a device calculated latitude. In 1959, Princeton science historian Derek J. DeSola Prince provided the most thorough scientific analysis of construction to date. After a careful study of the gears, he deduced that the mechanism was used to predict the position of the planet and the stars in the sky depending on the calendar month. A main gear would move to represent the calendar year, and the would turn in move many separate smaller gears to represent the motion of the planet, sun, and the moon. Stonehenge. Stonehenge is perhaps the world's most famous prehistoric monument in the world. Several stages. The first monument was early huge monument built about 5,000 years ago, and the unique stone circle was erected in the late Neolithic period, about 2500 BC. The early Bronze Age, many burial mounds were built nearby. Today, together, Avebury, Stonehenge form a heart of World Heritage Site with a unique concentration of prehistoric monuments. The earliest structure known in the immediate area are 4 or 5 beds, 3 of which appear to have held large pine totem pole-like posts erected in a Mesolithic period, 8500 and 7000 BC. It is not known how these posts relate monument of Stonehenge. At this time, when much of the rest of the southern England was largely covered by woodland, the chalked down land in the area of Stonehenge may be an unusual open landscape. It is possible that this is why it became the site of early Neolithic monument complex. The complex includes the causeway enclosure at the Robin Hood Ball, the Circus Monument or rectangular earthwork, and the several long burrows, all dating from centuries around 3500 BC. The presence of these monuments probably influenced the later location of Stonehenge. Benjamin Kyle. Benjamin Kyle is a person who received a naked near the Burger King, Richmond Hill, Georgia. He had the 3 depressions in his skull that appeared to have been caused by blunt force trauma. He also had red ant bites on his body. After discovering him, employee called the emergency service and took him to the hospital. Later, when Benjamin Kyle's have no identity were found, he recorded as in a hospital. He recorded in a hospital as a name, so they named him Burger King Doe. After the incident, no criminal investigation was opened by the Richard Hill police until the friend inquired in the department in 2007. There was no report of stolen vehicle in that area. After waking up, when he was asked for his name by the hospital staff, he remembered that it was Benjamin, spelled with 2 A, but could not recall his last name. He came up with the surname Kyle from his police and hospital placeholder name. Kyle realized that he was around 20 years older than he thought he was. Kyle believed he was passing through Richmond Hill, Georgia on either US Route 17 or Interstate 95 in late August 2004. He may be also have been on the road because of hurricane which that hit that month. After being released from the hospital, Kyle spent several years between the Grace House Men's Shelter and hospitals. In 2015, September 16, Kyle announced that his real name identity had been found, including his name and the family members. An outer body experience. The outer body experience is experience in which a person seems to be perceived in the world from the location outside their physical body, and the OBE is a form of autoscopy, literally seeing self. Although the term autoscopy more commonly refers to the pathological condition of the seeing a second self of yourself, the term out of body experience was introduced in 1943 and was adopted by the researchers such as Celia Green and Robert Manor. Alternatively, to belief-centric labels such as spirit walking, sleep, and electrical stimulation of the brain, among others. It can also be deliberately induced by others. 1 in 10 people have OBE once or more, commonly several times in their life. It happened during sleep or near sleep, or maybe near-death experience, or some chemicals such as alcohol or any other drugs, mental induction, mechanical induction such as audio, visual stimulation. If you like that video, please do hit the like button, comment, share, and please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you will get the notification whenever the channel will upload.